So apparently, Pokemon Sword and Shield isn't going to have a National Dex. On top of the fact that the Pokemon that aren't in the Pokédex are not going to be in Sword and Shield. Excuse me, what? So you all have already heard the news. Gamefreak has stated that they will not be adding the National Dex to Sword and Shield. They also will not be adding the Pokemon that are not in the Pokédex to Sword and Shield. And the cherry on top is that, and quote me if I'm wrong here, that they won't be adding Mega Evolutions or Z moves into their next game. Who's the genius to come up with this? Is this some sort of reboot? Is this another Let's Go where you can't transfer every Pokemon? You know, gone are the days where you can transfer every Pokemon that you have captured from your Game Boy all the way up to your 3DS. Now, you just gotta hope and pray that the Pokemon you wanted from those previous generations are in Gen 8 so that you are able to transfer them. That gotta catch 'em all motto is irrelevant at this point. Honestly, not gonna lie. Like, I think that this is now Game Freak's low point. I think there was time to go downhill. And honestly, I don't blame them. They've been going on for like 2 decades at this point. They're running out of ideas. And now they just be like, hey, we've been relevant for this long. So why don't we just become irrelevant? Because if that's their plan, bravo! Here's another thing that's been bugging a lot of people. Have y'all ever noticed that it has gone easier to get a shiny Pokemon? It all started from Gen 5 when they introduced the shiny charm. And you know, the shiny charm wasn't that bad in Gen 5, at least in my opinion. Sure, it made shiny hunting a lot easier. Well, it made them easier. Not a lot easier, just a little easier. And even if you still got a high chance of getting a shiny, it still took quite a while to do it. It wasn't crazy high to get a shiny like what they did in Gen 6 and 7. But in Gen 8, they made things a hell of a lot easier to get a shiny Pokemon. And not to mention, you can see on your area if you can find a shiny Pokemon or not. And the only catch is that you gotta hope that your aim is good. Good job, Game Freak. Good job. Not only has Game Freak made everything easier, they also changed the meta to VGC to a whole different level. For instance, they nerfed a lot of Pokemon such as Darkrai, Talonflame, and Gengar. Darkrai's Dark Void now has 50%, Talonflame's Gale Wings now only has full priority if Talonflame is at full health, and they changed Gengar's ability from Levitate to Cursed Body. They also introduced Ultra Beast. Now, in my opinion, some Ultra Beasts are tolerable. Like, they're not as overpowered, but those few Ultra Beasts that they introduced are overpowered as shit. Pokemon Ultra Beasts such as Celesteela, Kartana, and Blacephalon are hard to take out just solely based on their defense or offense, and not to mention Beast Boost. Another thing I would like to point out is that recently, Game Freak has released Pokemon annually now, and while it may not seem that bad to you, it is certainly bad for me. Because if a company releases the same franchise annually, like a new game annually, it gets stale very quickly. And there's a certain other franchise that releases the games annually and it gets stale and boring for the next few months. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Call of Duty. They release their games annually and it gets stale pretty quickly. Now, when it comes to their games, yes, the playstyle is different, but it's still Call of Duty as a whole, and it's still the same thing over and over again, and it gets stale and boring pretty quickly. And this is the approach that Pokemon is taking in my eyes. Now, I hope that next year we won't get a new Pokemon game. At least I hope we get a new Pokemon game in the next 2 years after Sword and Shield are released, because I don't like seeing this. I don't like seeing Game Freak being Activision and releasing the same game every year. Because sooner or later, people are gonna start to notice, and it's gonna get boring really quickly, and it's gonna get repetitive very, very quickly. And nobody wants that, especially for Pokemon. Like, over the years, you see Pokemon releasing every 2 or 3 years, and then now when Sun and Moon are released, it's just 2016 Sun and Moon, 2017 Ultra Sun and Moon, 2018 Pokemon Let's Go and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and this year Pokemon Sword and Shield. Honestly, I don't know what Game Freak is doing at the moment. They're doing a lot of bad things for Pokemon. It's like those few good things that you see in the new trailers, and they're just 20 steps back for Pokemon as a whole.